Joining me now here on Revelator is Blackey from the band Midnight Mom. Blackey, what's going on? How are you doing?
Ah, I am so happy that I'm out of work.
Well, we're talking on a Friday, so it's always good to get out of work. And do you have happy hour planned at all, or any plans for the weekend here? Or
Oh man, no, this weekend is like my first weekend off to just kind of get a few things done. I gotta work on a few new tunes that we've been jamming around with.
cool,
So
cool.
that's kind of my priority.
Very nice. No, I know you guys have a lot going on. A new album to talk about that's coming out this spring. I think April, March, April, sometime there, and a lot of other things going on, which we'll get to in a moment. But obviously, you mentioned obviously having some free time. So, what hobbies do you enjoy when you're not writing music or making music? What kind of things do you enjoy? You paint, draw? Is there anything you kind of do other than music as far as a hobby
Oh
is concerned?
man, as far as hobbies, I like to cook. Um, I just like to just try out new recipes and stuff like that. Kind of pretty much my whole band, we're really into cooking and fitness.
Awesome.
But
Nice, nice.
other than that, I pretty much go to a show a week. I really love our local music scene and kind of finding new bands. So that's kind of I love live performance. It's an addiction.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love going, catching local bands. Obviously, I'm in the Nashville area, so it's pretty easy to go find something
Yeah.
going on, regardless of time of day. Now you're in New York area, right? So, I mean, what's the
Mhm.
music scene like there for like hard rock and metal? I've talked with people out in LA and stuff too, where they're like, "Hey, man, it's a cool scene because there's a lot going on, but it's kind of an oversaturation, so it's hard to kind of find your niche, and you pretty much have to go other places to play to really get noticed." Is that kind of the same scenario in New York?
I think for different reasons. New York actually doesn't. It's funny. We have really great bands in our scene, and I wouldn't even say it's super oversaturated because in our area, like what's more popular are the cover bands. So if you're not like really on your A game as a local band, you're kind of really not out that much yet. You're kind of still in your incubator.
Right.
Um, but yeah, we don't. New York doesn't have a rock radio or anything like that. So unless you're kind of you gotta kind of tour out. But as far as we have some really great local venues. More in the city area. There's one on Long Island, two that are really awesome on Long Island. But you pretty much have to like leave New York. Anything that I think that's like not New York, they have a bigger appreciation for rock music, I think.
Right. Well, we'll talk about touring here and those type of things in a moment. But I went to your guys' website, Midnight Mob Online. So I'm checking it out, and I see you pop up. Everyone else in the band, it says Blackie Death Proof. So where's the Death Proof come from? Where does that come from?
Oh, okay. Well, the Blackey part actually came from high school, way before the band. My actual name's Lauren, and I had one girlfriend in high school, and her name happened to be Lauren, and we didn't have any friends, so we were like, I don't like who's like non-threatening to make friends with that are kind of quirky and weird. Let's go to the chess club. Let's see what's going on there. So it was great. It's like we found like a really crazy like little dorky rock and roll click, and it was really fun. But it got annoying having everyone like Lauren, trying to figure out who they were talking to. So they were gonna go with Brownie and Blondie because she was blonde and I have dark hair, and I was like, I'm not being called Brownie. So they did
Right.
Blackie and Whitey. And
There you
eventually
go.
they let her be Lauren again, but they got such a kick out of calling me Blackie that that kind of just stuck with me till
Yeah,
into my music career.
right, right. Now you don't want to be called Brownie because then everybody's always hitting you up for Girl Scout cookies and stuff this time of year.
Exactly.
So
Sixth grade was rough when I was in brownies, but not brownies, big girls. Yeah, I couldn't do it anymore. That's why it's rock and roll, man.
Oh yeah.
totally disgruntled.
Well, getting back to the band, I appreciate you sharing that story with me. Now, getting back to the band, I would jam in a lot of your stuff pretty much most of the day, and obviously starting with the single, which we'll hear in a moment, "Swing On," which is the latest single right now. I mean, but digging into your guys' archive a little bit, in some of the videos, "All for Nothing," "Overdrive," "These Days," "Perfect Crime," the list goes on and on there. As a band now, what for pushing 7 years or maybe a little over 7 years at this point, in that
7 years.
time frame. Yeah, so at that where you are right now, you ever look back or take a moment to kind of reflect over, especially getting ready to release a new album? And I don't know if musicians, if you rank anything, this album, this EP, I like this better, so on and so forth. But, in the last 7 years, do you ever look back or take a moment, especially getting ready to release something and go, wow, this moment here or that release or that tour or that or the other that we did as a band kind of changed the trajectory of where we are right now?
Oh my goodness, we do that. I think every day, especially because three of us, well, now two of us, we were never in a band before. I didn't even know I could sing really until my band. I never sang. It's just something I kind of, by fate fell into. And it's been really amazing because, the odds were always kind of stacked against us in a way. Like we always had some kind of turmoil, some kind of problem, but like, like we had no idea how to be a band. And all of us, my whole band, it was our first band. So everything we did just felt like so momentous and so special and like something that wouldn't be a big deal to most musicians. Like I guess even when they're playing their local scene, we were just like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. So then from like going from nothing to touring to releasing any bit of music, it was like, oh my gosh, like you believe we're actually doing this? Like we're such a pack of goofs. Like how is this actually happening? Like, geez. Um, but I guess especially like what's happened the last 2 years, like we really didn't think we were going to make it, and we didn't even really see like this batch of songs really being what they were. We were in a really really bad space, and we're like, let's just record this stuff and get it over with and move on. And towards the end of it, once we started really getting it going, it's like, oh my gosh, this is good. I can't believe we like made it through all this junk once again, and the music sounding 1,000 times better than we could even expect. So.
Uh, well, I think it's cool that you had those experiences because I kind of think it makes you appreciate, the farther you get into the process, it makes you appreciate it more and more, with
Oh my
every
gosh.
passing year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now,
It's like we married our second grade boyfriend.
now the album we're talking about is called "Honest, Brutal, and Glorious." Now, you've mentioned in other interviews about how it was kind of a grueling process and very difficult for you, even personally and even as a band. So now that it's pretty much finished and getting ready to be released. Is there anything that you learned about yourself musically and also musically as a band? Now that you've kind of gone through the difficult writing process and getting this thing done.
I think we all have. We all really had to step up as musicians. I mean, like I said, like coming into this, we were super noobs, didn't know what we were doing. So the first couple years, we were really just even learning our instruments. But with this one, we were really forcing ourselves to kind of dig deeper and be more honest and kind of just just give you every bit of our blood, sweat, and tears and pour it in your ears. You know what I mean? Just really give it to you, especially because like you know, we have such a deep love and appreciation for what this band did for us, like for not ever really even picturing ourselves being musicians for most of our lives. Um, you know, just kind of encouraging people to be brave and courageous. You never know what's going to happen. So that's
What?
kind of what we want the listener to feel with this group of songs, and we feel like we've kind of accomplished that. And for ourselves, like we've all pushed ourselves. As a singer, I mean, I took a lot more lessons. I really, really buckled down and learned learned my craft.
Well, I think it shows that the single "Swing On," which, like I said, we'll hear in a moment. Really, I think showcases. And I actually tweeted you guys. I was like, checking your videos and songs, and I was like, today,
Thanks.
I was like, this is the best song I've heard today. And it really is. It's a really, really great rock song. And like I said, digging into your guys' catalog, I mean, you have a lot of different sounds, and I know you've talked about influences a lot with a lot of other interviews and things you've done. So I mean, other than like other bands and those type of things that influence you musically, is there a certain moment when you realize I want to do this, or someone in your family, a sibling or somebody that kind of got you that pushed you in that direction to say you should go take this avenue and run with it?
Oh goodness.
I'm
Not
hitting you with all
really.
these serious questions here.
No. My when my family found out that I wanted to kind of pursue rock or singing in general, they were like, "Are you serious? You sing? You throw up if you even speak in front of people. We had to drag you on stage for your church play in the 3rd grade. You were crying hysterically for 3 lines."
Is there a video of that? Well, there's got to be video of that somewhere, right?
I hope not. I hope I burned them all. It was pretty bad. But I don't know. I think every step I kind of took with it was just so exhilarating, and I felt so exposed. And I don't know. I guess when I started hearing audience and fans feedback and them saying like what certain pieces of music meant to them, and certain things we were doing performing wise, like what it reminded them of, and that kind of really pushed us to go forward with it. I was like, wow, you could, if you have one opportunity to say something to people, what are we going to say? Like, let's put something out there that's like really special. And that kind of turned into like this like, let's keep at this. And we want to do something good for the world in our goofy way.
Well, I think that's really cool. And now we've talked about this album and the release date. Do you guys have a specific release date as of right now, or is that still kind of up in the air as far as the specific release date is concerned?
I believe as of now we're going to be doing it March 25th.
Fantastic. Now, is there anything that you do to celebrate as a band? On a release? I know you guys have released a couple albums, a couple EPs and stuff over the last 7 years. Is there anything you guys do together on that day when the album comes out that you'll do together to celebrate?
Well, how we did it in the past, we usually played a show and we had like a big party. This one, because we did pledge music, we did our local fan base. A lot of people have the EP already, so we're probably just gonna go out and celebrate with all of our friends in the rock scene and just goof off.
Awesome. Good. That's a good way to do it. Now, obviously, with the new EP, obviously touring plans, I would think, are in the works. Is there anything that you can share with the audience as far as touring, where people can find you, see you here, coming up through the spring and summer?
Right now, we only have two dates in Philly. We're working on a bunch of festivals all for the summer. We're waiting on some confirmation. And then once we have those kind of stapled down, we're going to book tours around them. So we don't have anything like solid booked yet for summer, but stay tuned.
Very, very cool. Well, Blackey, it's been a pleasure catching up with you. If people want to find out more about the band, how they can get past EPs and the new EP, how can they do so?
You can go to midnightmob.com or Facebook Midnight Mob.
Awesome. Now, one thing before I let you run here, what is the most strangest or craziest thing you've seen while performing on stage in the crowd?
Oh my goodness.
So I always wonder that what singers see, when they're performing. You see, because you typically get kind of like cat's bird view, and you get to see, somebody in the pit or someone up front or someone at the bar doing something that catches your eye. You ever see that at all? Anything at all? It doesn't matter.
Honestly, I move around so much, and I'm usually jumping on the audience. So I kind of, I don't know if I don't know if I've ever seen anything besides like a very, very shocked face, like, oh my God, what is he doing? Holy crap, don't touch me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always love the band members of people. When you're jumping into the crowd and stuff, and then you have the 50, 60, 70% that are like, yeah, this is awesome. Then you have like the other 30 to 40% that are just absolutely mortified and don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's definitely that hardcore mix. It's those people that are like, yeah, this is awesome. They're just like, we're all sweating together, and it's gross. You don't know whose is what, and it's gross. And then, you have everybody around like, oh my gosh, I really should have stayed home and just watched the Kardashians. I don't even get this. This is ridiculous.
Well, hopefully I get to see you guys live and perform, and if you jump on me in the crowd, I will help you stay afloat on the crowd and surf you back to the stage.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You'll be the person I aim for then, just because I have your your word on that.
Yeah, I did, for some reasons, even when I'm in a crowd, because I do concert photography too, so I'm always in the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you very much. And I'm really tall, so everyone's like, wow, really tall photographer, because I'm almost 6'5", so I stick out in a crowd typically. And so like, I don't know.
We could end up like doing that dirty dancing routine.
Yes, yeah. I will give you I'll give you the Patrick Swayze. I hope that's going to end up. I probably shouldn't say that. I'll give you the Patrick Swayze. That's going to end up on the, on Google somewhere. Be like, Ryan gave Blackey the Patrick Swayze on, but but all right. Well, again, it's a pleasure catching up with you and talking with you, getting to know you a little bit. And hey, anytime you guys have a tour or anything, you come through the Nashville area, definitely keep me in mind. We'll try to support everybody we can that donates the time for the Revelator show. We appreciate it.
We absolutely will. Thank you so much.
Awesome. This is Midnight Mob. Swing on here on Revelator.